Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday morning. Welcome to another Living Freestyle Game Dev live stream. This is an AMA Q&A, mostly just me streaming because there's not been a whole lot of questions, but we do this twice a week, Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings. I hang out. People have questions about Unreal Game Dev. Hopefully it's a chance for us to stumble through some of those things together as it relates to mostly Unreal. As I said, my name's Kevin. I work in games professionally. I'm fortunate enough to get to do this every day. But as much as there's cool stuff I get to do at work, there's a lot of cool stuff I don't get to do at work. And so in the absence of questions or anything else, I'm basically just streaming me making my game. I'm trying to get to a working prototype and literally stumbling through a whole lot of stuff I generally don't know how to do, which is cool because it is applicable. It helps me better understand what other disciplines are working towards and some of the challenges they face and stuff like that. Plus, it's just cool to build stuff. I mean, it's just fun. So there were no questions based off last week. I went through all the chats and everything and there weren't any questions left over. So we're just gonna hop straight in. We are actually having a funky issue this morning, which is for some reason, okay, so what was happening was when we started off, when the character enemies were loading, there was a pretty big hitch. So I thought, you know what? Let's just break that spawn up so there's not so many characters loading all at the same time. And so what I did was I hopped into the spawn BP and I put in basically a timer delay. Now, the interesting thing about that was I thought it was working. It worked from the standpoint of I didn't get hitches, right? It's much better and they're all spawning in and stuff, which is cool. When I run it like this, you saw that dude spawn over there. I don't know why that guy spawned over there. And I don't know what she's doing, for example. Like, she should clearly be trying to get a weapon. But what happened was, I think her friends told her that there was an enemy, and so they all started running for the enemy. So there's a couple things in our AI logic we need to figure out. But it's even more prevalent when I spawn. Like, why? What is she doing? There we go, finally. So then they go about their business, fighting and doing their thing, which is cool. And so far, Red's crushing it, probably because they're closer to the weapon spawn point. But let's go back to simplifying this back down to one set of allied actors and see if we can't demonstrate a little bit more of what I was talking about. Okay, so if we change this back to play in the selected viewport, when they start spawning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, they all worked. Of course they did. Wait a minute. What is this dude doing way over here? Like, how did that? Okay, let's do that again. I'm trying to figure out how she spawned way over there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, she didn't spawn way over there. She just runs. She's just running way over there because that's the closest weapon she found available. Don't know about that. We'll have to figure that out. If we go back to our spawn and we take out this delay, I believe this might show the problem. Let's see if I can even show the problem. Last night it was very consistent. Nope, these are all defenders. They all look good, and except for her, she just picks the wrong spawn point. So that's not the issue. What was it I changed? Oh, 1 second. Oh, if we go down to 0.2, let's see here. Yeah. See that character that spawned? That has the... I think that's the search and destroy. Am I actually streaming the right stuff? I am. Okay. That's the search and destroy icon, and she's basically stuck. And I can't... There's a timing thing. There's something that's going on where when she's spawning in, her AI hasn't taken possession or anything, so basically anything I do to get this loop down, and you can see it's pretty clear which state she's stuck in. Wait, hold on, I didn't want to do that. It's pretty clear which state she's stuck in if we play in here. I'll show you when we look at her C4. Is she C4? Where'd she go? Yeah, she's C4. Interesting. They're all... What are you doing? Dog's being crazy. Come back here. Oh, there's two of them that are in this state now. So if we look at him, he's on patrol, but I'm not sure what that enum key fight is for. He doesn't have a target, but it's set to look around, and the objective actor is the weapon spawner. No, we do have a weapon, there is no target enemy. And last enemy location is invalid and stuff like that. So the interesting thing is they did not update from the weapon spawner as far as the objective goes, which is weird because in the enemies, so that's C5. If we look at C5, okay, so we're on patrol. If we go into patrol, we're in wait, and we should be searching for an objective. But it doesn't look like it's going into that branch. And the reason it's not going in that branch is because look around is set. So I'm trying to basically I need to track down where look around is set. There's some weird stuff going on here, but we're gonna have to track that down. I don't think that's what I want to do today though. I think what we're going to do today is to try to change this fight, or no, not the fight, the flee. Okay, right now we're using a decorator to check if the character is healthy before they flee. And then flee is pretty basic. It finds cover and moves to the goal. Now, the weird thing is find cover. What does find cover do? Isn't this our big find cover? It's control pawn, sets the blackboards. It looks for the damage instigator. If that's valid, it finds a point that's 400 units away from that location and runs that way. Okay. Otherwise, it gets a random location within 1,000 unit radius and goes that way. Let's escape out of here. Let's put a print string in here. Because my guess is it's always coming in here. I'm guessing the damage instigator is no damage instigator. My guess is the damage instigator is invalid here. And then we're going to reduce this down and we're going to get into a state where we can test this. So let's go 0 for allies. And we could probably get one and one here. Should be a 2-second delay, so I should be able to get to the gun first. Okay. So alright. Oh, I guess damage instigator is set. Damage instigator, yeah, it is set. Okay, cool. So she's just moving 400 units back, but it doesn't look like 400 units to me. I want to change this to 1,000. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to get a random reachable point in the navigable radius from this origin, and let's say within 200 of this. And then that random location is going to be our goal. And then I'm also going to draw a debug sphere just to test that. And I'm concerned that if I oh god, this is gonna be our flee to or retreat location. And let's just set this to vector temporarily. Let's set this here. And the reason we're doing this is because Unreal tends to, every time you ping this random one, it'll give you a new one. So I don't want to do that. So let's just make sure we're using the same point for all of these things. Let's use an 60, a giant, sure we'll use yellow, a duration of 2, 1. Let's go. All right, so okay, that's a much further spot. Just gonna wait 2 seconds. She's gonna go again. I didn't see the yellow sphere that time though. That's interesting. Find cover task. We're not printing no damage indicator. So that's weird. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, that's mostly working. Make that a little bit more reasonable. I'm actually gonna make that 1500. Okay, so let's clean this up. Finish our execute. That's our finishing of executes. Okay, cool. So we can save this. We are not connected to source control. What? Whew, that was scary. Connect, P4, perforce, accept, checkout. Good to go. Okay, so what we want to do though is I'd like to make it so that we don't flee if we have friends, right? Strength in numbers. So to do that, I'm thinking we can change, there's a couple different ways we could do this. And I want to try the simple one first because I tend to overcomplicate things. So there's this decorator called isHealthy. And if we browse to this, if I duplicate this, because I think the isHealthy is still good to have. So, I think we'll just qualify this as should flee. I'll have to come up with a better name of that in a minute. BT decorator should flee. Should flee. Needs to flee. Take flight. Take flee. Take flight. Whatever. All right. Point is, this is going to be almost the same thing, but the difference is, it's basically what this is looking at is looking at our normalized health, and if it's greater than, what are we doing? If it's a controlled pawn, we get our health component, and it's greater than 0.5, we're gonna return what? True? Hold on a second. Wouldn't it be less than 0.5 that we want to check? This is confusing to me. How's this even working? Returns the current health in the range 0 to 1. I feel like this should be less than. I don't understand. Oh, we need to, hold on, we need to debug this because that doesn't make any sense to me. I believe we should always be fleeing. Yeah, it's true. Oh wait, do I have it? Oh, because it's healthy. It's healthy, so we're using the not condition. Okay, that's why. Okay, so let's go back, should flee. So if our health is, so this is gonna change a little bit. And what we want is, we want this to be less than. No, we didn't want to actually click on that, but that's fine, less than. And let's just say, we'll use the same line. All right, so if it's less than 50%, okay, but what I want to do is, that's not the only condition, because if we don't have any friends nearby, right? So we should flee if we're less than 50%, and we could probably change that to like 30. Let's say 40. Okay. If we're less than 40%, and we don't have friends, so get actor radius, nope. Find radius, nope. Radius. Oh, sphere overlap. Let's try that. Sphere overlap. Is that what we want? Sphere overlap actors. Okay, so we have our controlled pawn. We're going to get the actor location. We're going to okay, and our sphere radius is, it's interesting because from a performance standpoint, it would be interesting to know, is it faster to do a sphere overlap actors within a radius, or is it faster to just get all of the actors and check each one, if the distance for each one? Don't know which one's faster, but I'm not super worried about performance right now. We're not trying to intentionally be non-performant, but we are trying to get to a working prototype as our first priority, and so then we can hopefully get some help from people who are way better at this than I am for parts of this. So Lyra, let's see here. We're looking for a Lyra character here. Okay. And well, from these, for each one, we're gonna do the team subsystem. Team subsystem. And compare the teams. Compare the teams. And we're going to be comparing the output with the control pawn. Okay? And if they're on the same team, then we are going to set as friends, as support, as backup, backup exists. As friendlies, as friends. Sure, we'll go with that, and we'll set this to true. I'm gonna set this to true. Okay, now I also want to put a break in here. I want to change this to a for loop with a break. For with a break. All right, and we're gonna come in here, we're gonna execute this. And for the loop body, we're gonna compare the teams. This is our elements, we're gonna keep this the same, but our break is going to be here. Okay. So that way we only need one friend for this to be valid. That way we're not just inadvertently going through all of them for no reason. All right, so we'll go through here, we'll do this, and when we're done, we're going to go back about our business. Okay, except now our business is a little bit different. So, what happened in our chat? Pretty quiet in the chat this morning. Okay, so what we're going to do is, on completion, if we're less than health and we don't have friends, okay, let me think about this, because this is just such a weird. If we, all right, let's hold on. This is the name of this decorator is should flee. So we should flee if we have less than 40% health and we do not have friends. Otherwise, it means we have more health or we have friends. So I think this should do it. All right. So let's compile and save this. Does not like that. Guess we need an array of object types. Didn't realize that. It's not gonna be world dynamic. Let's go with pawns. Okay, so in our enemy BT, rather than is healthy, and it's an inverse condition, yeah. Okay. So let's add a decorator, and this is going to be should flee. Okay, and let's go. So first things first. Oh. All right, not fleeing, that's good. Let's get down to half health, 40% health. Clearly that is 40% health, I believe. So let's re-enable our breakpoint and see why we're not running away. Sphere overlap actors. Compare teams. What? Who's on the same team? Oh. It's not ignoring self. Actors to ignore should be pawn. It's finding itself as a friend. I think that's what was happening. All right. Good news is it's not fleeing right off the bat. All right, now they start to flee. Okay, so this we now have the same behavior we had before. Although Okay, cool. Now, it's interesting because this dude is just going to keep on running. Just keep on running. I think there could be like a max distance that we want him to go, maybe, just so he doesn't just run forever. But let's test the second half of this equation, which is if they have buddies, they don't run away. And so to do that, spawn 2 instead. I got the gun first. Take the objective. We'll let her get her gun, although she's not. Okay, so interesting. When Wacom tablets go bad. There we go. Just get a grenade in there. Nope. Start again. I have a very limited range with my Wacom tablet on this machine. Okay. Alright, did you see that? She wasn't fleeing, but then she did once her health got below a certain number. So what we could do is try to see if we could corral these two together. Okay, so now she should flee. Okay, so she's fleeing. Slow, because she still got the slow from the grenade. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna back her all the way into the corner with the other one. When they get together, they should start fighting again. Stand up. Come on, man. At this rate, it's gonna take you forever to catch up. Okay. They should have friends now. But they're not fighting. So let's put a break here. We have friends. So now this should be false. And this is true. True and false is false. So that should be kicking out false. Okay. So if we look at this, we should no longer be going into flee. Oh, but we're only attacking if we're healthy too. Okay, so, okay. Let's do a couple things. Find cover is looking for a point that is a retreat location. And it's just doing that based on current location from the damage instigator. But let's just cap this, okay? So if we're getting the actor location, if my location I also want to change the way this works overall. Okay, if my location distance, let's see here, distance 2D vector distance from my location and the actor location. If that is less than, let's say, 2,000, then we're going to set our retreat location like so. Okay. If it's not, that means we're far enough away that we could get the random location. Okay, so this is going to, I'm gonna set this way. Okay, and if it's not, we're just going to get a random location within radius. Let's just do this for now. Of my of the character's location. And we're going to set this based on that. And then we'll go about what we're doing. Okay, that way they don't run away forever. And then what we also need to do is we need to update our enemy so that it's not healthy that we're checking here, but should flee. This should be not. Okay. Okay, so she's almost done. If they get too far apart, she should start to flee. Trying to figure out how to force this. There we go. If I stand here, I need them to separate. I'll keep her over here. Back him up a little bit more. Okay, so she's fleeing. Perfect. Okay? So now we just gotta make this dude flee. At least she stopped at the 2,000 units. But now she's got a buddy, so now she's coming back, okay? All right, it's working. It's working, so she's back in the mix. Okay, so now they're together, they're both less than 40% health. Okay, she's backing off because she needed a gun. Come on, Wacom, don't fail me now. Oh, let's go. What I want to do is try to kill one of them, and then they, just to finalize the... Oh, whoops. I accidentally killed both of them. Bummer. But that looks like it's working. Overall, I think is the point. Okay. So let's just start making work of this one. Like, why? And there we go. Now she's got a weapon. One more shot. She should be fleeing. She is. Get her buddy. Okay, so he should start to flee now. He's fighting between flee and patrol. He's bouncing back and forth. It's interesting. Now he's just in flee. I forgot we put that up there. I need to see why it's flickering. We'll do that in a second. So now they're back in fight. He's back to fight. All right, let's kill her. Okay, and he should be back to flee. He is. Okay, so I think that was pretty successful. That worked. There's a couple issues. I think we want the same thing. We don't want to be patrolling if we should be fleeing. So let's just put that same decorator there. That way we're not bouncing back and forth. So that should cover that. Let's save that. And then we've got it so they don't run so far off into the distance and become useless, which is cool. This is cool. Okay, so find cover is interesting. This may be a bigger can of worms. This find cover works, but it's not really finding cover. What it's doing is it's just running away. This should really just be called run away. Run away. In fact, I think we'll rename this to run away. Let's just clean this up a little bit. Okay, so run away, because find cover actually is a better implementation of that is in our fight, and this is where we find cover position for attack. This uses the EQS for find cover, and this one looks around the query, and this is generate cover points. So let's look at that. And that's the one that's gonna generate cover points. In playable? Which one are we calling? Generate cover points in playable, yeah. That was the more complicated one we built last week, I believe it was. So this is kind of, this might be a better implementation. Now, the interesting thing is about this one though, we'll have to figure out the best way to ensure that it's taking the farthest one. So there'll be some work there, but I think that's going to be a better implementation of it. For now, let's just call this, let's just go and do what I said though. Let's rename that to be run away. Flee. Flee, you fools. Find cover. Browse. This is really not find cover. This is find cover. This is actually just a plain old runaway task. Run away. Okay. We may still like that later, but I think we're going to replace that with an actual find cover. Okay, so let's see here. We have two enemies that are now properly deciding whether they should fight or not based on whether or not they have allies or not. I think we can just start turning stuff on, seeing what works. Yeah, okay. To do that, well, let's just go full tilt again. We'll just bring everybody back. And just back to an allied spawn. And this back to an enemy spawn. Alright, and then what we're going to do is change or strategize. Well, actually, you know what? Let's just do one quick test as things were. Make sure everybody plays nice. Whoa, wait. Why did those enemy characters spawn here? What is going on? Who are they shooting at? Is there a red character back here? Wow, purple got crushed. They came to find me. Ah, but you can't even tell. Okay, hold on a second. Let's do a couple things. This is enemy spawner. Let's call this. Okay. Let's rename this to enemy spawn point. Spawn point red. Red one. Okay. And then let's do, this is gonna be This is gonna be spawn point purple 1, and this will be spawn point purple 2, and this should be, I don't know why there's a box under this, and this should be spawn point red 2. Spawn point red 2. All right, so red 2 is over there. I'm sorry, red 1 is over, red 2 is over there. Purple 1 and purple 2 are here. Okay, if we play and we see red behind us, we got a problem with our spawn points. What's happening is, oh, I know what's happening. The system's being too smart. Okay, so let's try this. Let's change our max to 5. And I'll bet you we don't see those 2 extra characters anymore. Okay. Oh, there's 1 extra. Only 1 though. Interesting. So what I think is happening here is I think that the system is being smart and is not spawning too many enemies in the same spot. And as a result of that, they're basically spawning at just a player controller. And I'd have to go into the code to see where that's happening. We're not going to do that right now because that's not as fun to watch. Wow, I'm surprised red's winning. Okay. Oh, interesting. So this, okay. I was just gonna say that dude is in flee mode. Now we're in fight. Those 2 are still in fight. It's an even game. But there's... Oh, I didn't know there was a third one back there. Still even, 2-2. At some point, one of these characters is gonna get weak enough that they're gonna run away. She's not running away right now because she has a friend. If she takes one more shot, she's gone. Now this dude has a friend because I'm his friend. He's gonna go check like a brave person because he has health, and he's never gonna get to flee in time. So red wins. Now this dude is in flee mode because he's weak and too far from his friend. Although, I don't know why. Oh, probably because damage instigator. He's probably getting a spot based on damage instigator. That's why he was running behind me. Okay, that's something we need to look at. If our damage instigator is not set, we may want to just change that entirely rather than being the damage instigator, to flee from just the generalized group of enemies. So now this dude's in fight mode, but he's dead. So same thing for her. Let's see if we can flee. Okay, that's it. I would say that seems to be working pretty well. Where's runaway? Runaway task. Right now we're running away from the damage instigator. That's pretty fast and easy. But if the damage instigator's not valid, then it's basically looking for yeah, I think we could simplify this whole thing. If rather than checking for the damage instigator, in this generate cover points, we do a thing in here where we get all of the characters and we basically stack them in the enemy locations. That's what this code does right here. And then this code will calculate the centroid of that. I don't even know if centroid is the right word for it. But what we could do is, rather than looking for the damage instigator, it's interesting. I think what we'll do is we'll keep damage instigator for this top half, but for the bottom half, if it's not valid, rather than doing this, hold on one second. All right, entirely too quiet. When it's too quiet, something might be wrong. So, rather than doing this, what we're going to do is, hold on a second. We don't have a damage instigator. This is always going to be true. So this, I don't know what this is going to do. Basically, it's just going to stand still. So let's just drop. I'm gonna keep this move stuff in there because we are going to be setting this. Let's move this over. Okay, so if that's false, if our instigator is bogus, we're gonna drop down and we're gonna get all of the characters. And then, what does this do? We don't need this. We're gonna check the teams. Enemy locations. Enemy locations. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna stack all our enemy locations. We'll grab the centroid, which we don't have. Enemy centroid. Centroid. It's gonna be a vector, but a single one. Okay, and then we will set. Then from that, we're going to calculate interesting. I think actually from that, what we want to do is a lot of the same stuff. And the only difference would be oh, it's almost the exact same stuff. All that changes is the position, that the point that we're using to calculate this point. So rather than using my location, hold on a second. If we come in here, we're going to get my location and compare it to the damage instigator. And normalize, check, and then we'll get a reachable point in that. Radius. So if we, then if we're not, we're gonna get that. So rather than using my location, if we simply use the centroid, where is my location being set? Right here. Basically, if it's true, we're gonna use my location as it is. If it's false, I think all we need to do is rather than setting the centroid, we're gonna set my location like so. We don't even need it. We won't even need the centroid variable. And then what's gonna happen is we would run all of this the same. Interesting. I believe that's good. So we'll come in here, we'll get all the characters. If there's we'll loop through them all and we're done. I don't think we need the centroid. I think we can just set this here. We can delete this. We can set my location. Simplify this. We can delete that. And then this is gonna pop back up and it's just gonna finish. And what we're doing is, my location is A little bit misleading here now, though. This would be better named something like location to check. So I'm gonna do that. Because my location is misleading. So location to check gets updated basically down here. And so if either the damage indicator is not valid or it's not an actor, then we're gonna update the location to check to be based off all the enemy locations. There is only one problem with this, and that is if there are no enemies, it's going to set, oh goodness. Okay, so we should put, basically if there are no enemies, it's going to set this to be the average of a non-zero array, which would be 0. So they're all just going to run to the origin. So what we should do is length. So if this is the length, it's true. Then we're gonna set this. Right. If it's false, we'll just leave the location to check as my current location. I think that's better. So in that world, false is going to come up here as well. Okay. Whoops. Controlled pond. Get. Compile that. Save that. So our stuff should be the same. If we look at our spawn points for purple and we zero those out, just zero everything out. If we make this 2 and 1, we should get 2 enemy nearby. I should get to the gun first. They'll go next. Alright, so first one's doing right, fighting. Get him down to minimal health. Okay, so now they're running off to find cover. Ah, they're both in the same place. Okay, they're separated. See if we can keep them separated. Flee. Alright, that dude should be in flee mode now. Interesting. He's not actually moving. That's shooter mannequin 1. So, not fleeing. Why is that? Clearly that dude should be fleeing. And he's set to flee, he's just not moving. He goes right back to fight. Okay, so Let's see here. We broke something. Runaway task. Gets control pawn's active location. If it's valid, we're gonna basically take the location to check. It is less than 2,000. So it should get a retreat location based off of location to check. Da, 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 da. Let's draw this. Draw the debug sphere. Oh, interesting. I wonder if that matters. I'm gonna connect in retreat location. Connect in retreat location. So 80. Nice bright blue. 2 and 1. Alright, let's see if we can't recreate this. We are out of time. Alright, this is our last little test. And then we gotta go. Okay. So, we're gotta try to separate them again. I stand right between them. Shoot. Okay. Alright, they're separating. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Ah, where are you going? Uh-oh, that's gonna kill him. Dagnat. Oh! Okay, well, I mean, it killed him. But we can still try the flee on this one. Come on. Flee. I'm not seeing that sphere. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. We're gonna have to do some more testing, but that should get to that sphere. That's more than 2,000 units. And it should just be random points around him now. Although it looks like it is only let's see. The location is going to be his location. We're going to come in here. That's going to be false, which should get a random regional point within the 200 radius. Okay. And we probably have our move condition set. Yeah. Okay, great. So overall, we got to wrap this up because it is, like I said, it's time to head to the day job. So, but overall, you know, we made some progress. We got Flee working a little bit better where it's taking into account, you know, whether or not they have enemies around them or not. I mean, sorry, allies. That may actually be a better name for that, for the future stuff. But anyways, if we have allies, we're not gonna flee, we're gonna fight, you know, never leave your wingman type stuff, which is cool. I think the thing that we wanna do now is start turning back on the other modes, like search and destroy and defend versus sentry, just making sure it all kind of works. I think we might wanna update the runaway to be more like run away to cover, just to make them a little bit smarter. But we'll have to play with the implementation of that so that, I don't know, right now the cover task is probably looking for the closest stuff, but it's going to be then picking those cover points that are furthest away, and maybe that's all it is. All we do is we update our EQS query to flip it so it takes the points that are furthest away from the enemy. So we'll be working on that probably Sunday. We'll see. A lot of it depends on how much I get done between now and then. As always, if you all have any questions or things that you want us to try to debug or work on together, throw those in the comments or just hop in the next live stream. That's going to be Sunday night at 10:15 Pacific time. All right. I hope everybody has a great rest of your week, and I will catch you all in the next live stream. Later.